Hi guys, it's Spectre here. Welcome back to some more Total Warhammer 3. I'm continuing my Kugath Plaguefather campaign. Before we get into the video, I just got this to show you. This is as of this morning, today. It won't have updated with today's hours, that comes tomorrow. Weirdly as that is. If you're on desktop or laptop, your subscribe button on the main channel page will be over here. If it's on a video page, it'll be down here. If you're on mobile, it should be right in the middle of your screen. On tablet, I'm not sure because I don't own a tablet. I think I've just gone up a couple of subscribers of that, but when I last updated this, because I don't update it, last watch 10 hours have gone up as well to make it worthwhile. Basically, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, helping me get to this number here. It's completely free, don't cost you anything. If you can just hit the sub button, if you're new around here and you're unsubscribed, please subscribe, help me reach this important mile marker. And then I can get on the YouTube partner program, and I would be immensely grateful. Thanks guys. With that said, let's get into the video. Right. We did beat Zhao Ming's army. Oh, he failed to actually assassinate somebody for King Jesus. Zuan Kong. King Kong's trainer. It looks like as well the one of the new legendary lords they're bringing out, Yuan Bo. They're bringing out towards the end of the month, well at the end of the month actually. He's going to be in Lustria for his Immortal Empires campaign, which is interesting. But he might not have the yin and yang mechanic, which if he doesn't, that will actually make Cathay playable to me. So then I might consider playing Cathay if that annoying mechanic isn't there. If the mechanic's still there, I'm not going to bother. If the mechanic's gone, I'll give it a go. I just don't like that mechanic. That mechanic is so garbage. I'm as strong as Archeon. That's good. Because Archeon's these days is normally a powerhouse. He usually always finds his way into top 5 factions. Which is good because some evil factions should be up there consistently. It shouldn't just be High Elves, Empire, Bretonnians and Cathay. I'm sick of being the good guys all the goddamn time. It's so annoying.
Of the plague god. Carry his plague.
I must test my contagion.
Cultist of the Fly Lord. Bring ruin. cultist of the Fly Lord. First, the vetted baptism. His vetted embrace.
Specimens required.
Right.
My foxfats are loaded.
The Emperor shall restore us.
Lots prepared. I experiment. The rot horde would grow stronger. This will infect so many.
He's just going to hold back there, just in case, because I need to make sure I maintain that, and just in case Imric gets uppity. Oh god, Imric's almost level 50. He's level 50 next turn. Jesus.
Nurgle's beloved.
Imric's been doing a fair bit of fighting.
Nurgle's chosen.
Okay. Just need to get that one unlocked, and that's the combat one done.
It brings me joy.
What is that one? The it's rot. Didn't we put rot somewhere else? Yeah, rot's here. So that might still spread from there. Yeah, spread there. Spread there, okay. I think sometimes that the plague should always give attrition to the enemy, because the Skaven plague always does. It gives you attrition and then halves your income on settlements. Now, I'm not saying it should always halve your income, but that's like being like occupying a red territory. But I think they should all give attrition, because at the end of the day it's some sort of plague. It's gonna like cause attrition. Yeah, bollocks. about to get dumpstered on. Maybe not. The Dark Elves. Oh, Beowulf.
I am no slave.
I don't know. Maybe.
Our enemies are hot specimens. Concoct a perfect blade. Yes, this will aid my studies.
We can recruit from here now. Yeah, we can.
A worthwhile specimen, I want.
So I need 2 more chosen with great weapons, and they're done.
Specimens required.
I mean, he might attack next turn, but between garrison and army, he's not going to beat us.
A wondrous day.
I need to just spread one more time. One more time, and that's all the plagues unlocked. See, I think as well, this is the other thing, like that one gives summable units, nurglings, nuggle corruption, plague duration, and chance of plague spreading, which are things you're generally going to want. I think this is, if it's not going to have attrition on every single one, it's only got it on the ague, rather than the rest of these. If it's not going to have attrition on them all, it should have a 4th option. 4th and possibly even a 5th. But I think a 4th option. And then what they could do is they could put the primary plague, which you need, up here above it, and keep these 3 below for 3 of these minor options. Because you don't get that much variety with it. And then one of these in here should give you attrition. Because one doesn't. And then you could have attrition, chance to spread the plague, and the duration increased with whatever the top one gives you. It just feels like it's missing something. And Nurgle, just like Norskins, all demons need a buff across the board, massively. So that's all the demon factions. Nurgle, Tzeentch, Khorne and Slanesh. All of them need a buff. I don't think anyone would disagree with that, unless you don't like playing those factions at all. But then you could argue the reason you don't like playing those factions is because they need a buff. Because of that dread for the weak, that's why I'm playing with Immortals while playing the Monogods. Because the demons aren't any good. Even the Mortal Lords are technically tougher and more durable than the Demon Lords. I'm just using the Demon Lords because they can basically work.
Glorious heat! My fever rises! His fetid embrace!
Nurgle's beloved.
Fuck, I'm not paying that. Think about what? That's 3,900. That's 2,600. And that's the upgrade of this? How the fuck does that work? I'm just going to build that because it's the cheapest one. Because I don't want these. That's 6,500. That's 6,500. That's 13,000. I'm not spending that on units I don't want. So I'm just going to put that in there.
Father's here. The fetid Brewmaster.
Embrace despair!
The rotting Rocksmith.
Right.
Disease liberates.
Oh, there's Yangming. Okay. Skaven just got killed by a flamethrower. And then he just decided to attack a 20 stack straight afterwards. He was feeling himself. He got two up his own arse. Oh my god, how many armies do they need? So they moved those armies up there to reinforce, then pulled them back at reinforcement range. What? That's a lot of fucking Skaven armies, Jesus Christ. That's Vermintide. When you've got that many bleeding armies. Now you do have to basically do that. You need to have a lot of Skaven slaves. You pretty much just spam Skaven slaves and have that many of them. And to be fair, Clanishing can probably do it the best. Because with other Skaven factions, you'd probably want to put a chieftain as much as you can into each army. So you've got the suspicious as loyal trait. So you can try and keep the other generals in line so they don't break away. But with the Shin, they're all loyal. Because pretty much you don't want any characters in the army either. You just want a mix of Skaven slaves and Skaven slaves with spears. That's it. And if you want, maybe some Skaven slave slingers. You're looking really just to mob the enemy. You're just looking to drown them in bodies. And funnily enough as well, one of the best leaders to take. Because you can have like Graciers can do damage, sure. As can a Warlock Engineer with some of the magic. But one of the best leaders to take is actually a like a war chief, whatever you call them. I forgot what the fuck they're called. Or like a Skaven warlord. A Skaven warlord is one of the best to take because they have a skill in it. I think it's like lives are cheap or something, and basically you can put 2 points into that, and it makes Skaven slaves even cheaper. But I think they get also a bit more leadership or something like that. Because you can kind of buff them, you can red tree buff them and stuff like that if you want to. You know, that's what your armies are going to be, but your armies are basically just throwaway crap. The only thing in your army that you're looking to try and keep a hold of is your lord. That's it. Everything else is basically expendable.
Follower of pestilence, march for Father.
Like you might think, oh well, nasty skulkers can crap stack to a degree. Now you can get nasty skulkers really cheap, especially with Skarsnik, like super cheap.
Move forthwith.
Well, there's an army there.
Hold my
And the army needs to not be there.
Soon, Father wills it.
from my wounds, the fester.
That's going to take a while to get round. That's just started again. That's on its way round. So that'll give him another chosen when it gets down here. And that's not quite halfway around yet. But those should be the last two chosen that I'll need, which will replace these. Then once that's done, I can start replacing his chosen. And I can replace these ones already, because he's already got these. But I can send his army off once I've got another army on the go. Just not sure if I want to recruit one yet. That's recruitment cost 5%.
What can wait? Now, Herald leads.
In fact, actually no. Actually, yeah, because we're upgrading this fucker, aren't we?
Herald like.
They don't get any increase to rank at all. Did I play Kugath around here? Only that one. That's really shit. Okay. So the things there now into your right. Okay, so forget that.
Maggot can decides.
Give me that.
Expedite sickness.
And give me a plague ridden. We want Nurgle. At least get the basics of a third army set up, which is the characters. Right. Poor Uncle Festus, they wiped him out. Or as my friend Overlord called him, Peter Griffin. He's basically the fat jolly Peter Griffin of the Warhammer universe. Okay. What the hell? You're required to bring in 4 armies to finally take that. My god. Skaven's got so many armies, it's ridiculous. Makes me wonder how Zhao Ming's still alive at this point. So I'm guessing then what we're going to be looking at is as well, if they are eventually going to put in, I think the 7 of the dragon siblings into the game for Cathay, so eventually I have like 7 dragon legendary lords. My guess is rather than them all being in Cathay where they normally are, or I think all of them are but one, but Yuan Bao isn't the one. He's normally ruling Wei Jin, which is more central, not on the right hand side of the wall. There's another city over there. My guess is so they've not got all the Cathay factions all in one location, which would make it obviously very easy to get alliances, kind of like the Empire's got with allies all around it, like Balthazar Gelt, the Dwarves, Bretonnians. So you basically got like a super nation area where the good guys are always in control, like that. You basically have the same thing here. So by looks of it, then they're going to move some of the Cathayan legendary lords to different locations in the world. Like Yuan Bao's gone over to Lustria for some reason. One that you'd expect to move would be the one who runs the Dragon Fleet, because they could be almost anywhere, because it's that basically, it's not a general, it's an admiral. They command fleets. And then you've obviously got the guy who's going to fight the Monkey King and his legions. He's probably going to end up being, rather than southern Cathay, might end up being actually in the hinterlands of Koresh. Otherwise, there's that city crossing down here, isn't there? I think that's the city. Yeah. So he could maybe post up there in the bamboo crossing and then fight against the monkey legions. Decisive victory still takes so much damage. Why do my armoured units take so much damage? They're not demons. They don't take that kind of damage. Upgrade his to that.
Fascinating. Nurgle's chosen. A most promising reagent.
Kneel before the despair lord. Glorious heat, my rising. Carry his plagues.
The joy of disease.
The joy of disease, and then he sounds like a fucking asthmatic Michael Myers.
Rot quicker.
We can let these build up and have another armor with knights potentially.
A wondrous day.
For now, we'll just get one of each. There we go. Then a couple of turns to heal, then we'll come and try and take these. What are we on? 22. So we need 13 settlements. What have we got over here? Who's got what? And they haven't even got that between them. They've got 7. But Grimgore's Hard Boys have got 10. And Grimgore is right north of my provinces in here. He doesn't like me anyway, but I can move up into it and start taking his shit.
Nurgle's beloved.
He's not got his thing yet though, has he?
Uncleanest.
Yeah, he needs Pestilent Decay. He needs to be a Mortis Engine. That's one of the reasons I really like these guys. They're a Mortis Engine, where Tzeentch, Slaanesh and Khorne don't have any of that. I mean, Khorne's are really big badass melee fighters that can take on single entities and characters with relative ease. I suppose you could argue the same for Slaanesh in some cases, but they just seem kind of flimsy. But both can get shot down, just obviously, you know, rather easy, because all they've got is a 20% physical, which is crap. The only other good thing, I suppose, about like Kairos and Lords of Change is they can fly like the Bloodthirster, but also can just fly around casting spells. And because they can control the winds of magic in an area, they can always make sure they're topped up and have got high winds of magic. so they can unleash maximum potential damage. And because they're flying around, they're harder to shoot at. But they just don't have anything massively meaningful. I mean, they're good spellcasters, yes. And then, but Khorne and the Bloodthirsters and the Keeper Secrets don't really have anything to like stand them out or protect them in any way. I mean, at least Nurgle, as I said, Nurgle's guys can be Mortis Engines. And Mortis Engine, if they can get into combat and they're not being focused down by missiles, can be incredibly invaluable. Because over the course of a battle, they can do so much damage. And as long as they're not crumbling or anything like that, you know, dissolving away, they're really, really good. As proven with, like, vampire counts. Every single vampire count I play, I've got Mortis Engines in there. Because they're so bloody good at what they do. You could fight 3-4 armies with one vampire count army. And if you can barricade yourself in a corner, not overuse Invocation of Nehek, so you've got like a wall of zombies or Graveguard or whatever, and have your Mortis Engines just, you know, make sure they're staying in combat but not getting focused down by like a single entity or a character, they'll rack up so much damage. And the more units they bring in, the better. You haven't got to waste it using Winds of Death. I like to save mine for my Invocations of Nehek to keep my army in the fight longer. Because the longer my army's in the fight, your army's going to get tired throughout the fight. Obviously, enemy reinforcements aren't going to reinforce right where your army is, so they're going to have to walk to you. So if you're beating an army off, it gives your troops a chance to recover their fatigue. But you're probably going to be in more of a tired state than they are, unless they're reinforcing in march stance, like the AI does a lot. But you can fight off that many armies. If you were using any ranged army in this game, and you were fighting 3 or 4 armies, full armies I'm talking here, you've got no chance. Absolutely no chance. Because you'll be out of ammo at the latest by the time you beat the second army. Which means there's a third army coming in that's fresh that you've got no ammo for. Or very little ammo for. It'd be the same Winds of Magic as well. Winds of Magic, like if you've got Kairos or another Lord of Change, you can have maxed out Winds of Magic. If you've got to fight 3 or 4 armies, you're not going to have enough Winds of Magic to fight that many armies. So you're going to have to use like your big stationary vortex spell carefully, let all the units crowd in and gather up, and then cast it for maximum damage. And you're going to have to save at least a couple of casts for the later armies to like break apart their troops and whittle them morale down. When Mortis Engines, they don't require ammo. They don't require Winds of Magic. It just ticks. It's just good damage. It enables them factions to work well. Because if they ever change the Mortis Engine effect, those factions for a lot of parts won't be worth playing. Plus the Mortis Engine wouldn't be worth taking either. It would have like 0 value. If they decided, oh, we're going to get rid of this damage over time effect, you know what we're doing instead? We're going to give it a buff or a debuff effect. So you see, it gives it better stats, and instead it gives a 35 meter wide debuff or buff. Nobody would take it. It'd be worthless in taking. The ticking damage is a really, really good idea. The only thing that I think potentially they should have is almost every faction, or at least every melee orientated faction, should all have at least one Mortis Engine unit. And ideally not a hero or a lord as the only one. Obviously with Nurgle you've only got the lords, but I'd rather have it than not have it. Otherwise Nurgle would be, well, put it this way, I'm taking the Heralds of Nurgle and then upgrading them to an Exalted Greater Demon, because they have the Mortis Engine effect. If these guys didn't have the Mortis Engine effect, I wouldn't even take a Herald of Nurgle. I would take a Nurgle Chaos Sorcerer Lord. That is the only reason I take them, because of how effective this can be. If it wasn't for that, or if say they decided to change that to whatever the fuck the other one's called, what's he get? End of his tree. Deadly Onslaught. So if they change it to Deadly Onslaught, I wouldn't take this guy. I'd just take a Sorcerer Lord, and then I just wouldn't take this hero. Because I'd have the Sorcerer Lord, basically, who could do it better, and then I can put another unit into my army that might end up probably being cheaper as well, because that guy costs 379. He's not exactly cheap.
The rotting Oxmaker.
May my wounds turn putrid. Cultists of the plague god.
I am no one's son.
Let's go up to tier 4 in it. No. I'll get that one. We'll wait. So if that's going to go up to tier 4, I can then look at getting it. That I'm going to wait. I'm not going to bother upgrading that because it's only a town.
My bruise.
Have they got territories all around here? Where the fuck are all the territories at? So what have they got now? They've got 3 and other guys got 3. Oh, the girl. 1, 2.
Everything rots. March.
Where the fuck is your 3rd one then? Nangal's been taken by Lokia. What the fuck has she got then? Where is she?
First, the father requires prayer.
Sacrifices to amuse the Kraken Lord of Karen Kar, or suffer my displeasure.
9 grand? You can forget that, mate. Why is it what we call it?
You dare? All is well. You catch me in a moment of less rage, creature. I may spare your soul. Are you a god?
Defensive alliance with Archeon. Oh, Kislev, we don't give a shit about. Yeah, they don't like it. But fuck them. He's weak as fuck, this company anyway. Then again, he ain't doing well. Yeah, he needs to pull his head out of his ass though and do something. See, this is the difference as well with Chaos Dwarves. Chaos Dwarves can have some campaigns where they just stamp over everyone, and then other campaigns where they're a damp squib and just don't really achieve much at all. For the normal dwarves though, that doesn't happen. The normal dwarves are always fucking strong. They never have damp squib campaigns unless they've been deliberately dicked over by the player. So annoying.
Decay is here.
I swear the devs in this game are just biased towards the good side factions, because they always seem to get an order tied up where it's 10 times harder and a lot rarer to see a doom tide. And even then it might only be like select certain factions, like you might see Kairos do it because of his bloody campaign abilities. Archeon can usually get pretty strong these days. Nagrond and Marathi can, but they also can be ploughed under by the High Elves. But again, it's one or the other. If Nagrond and Marathi get strong, they wipe out the bulk of the High Elves. If the High Elves get strong, they wipe out Marathi and Nagrond, pretty much. So you can't have both, it's one or the other one. Really peculiar. Really weird how they do things. That's a more unlocked. Nice. So I've got that one in case there's a big battle and we need it.
A wondrous day.
I don't think we've got to worry about Cathay coming down there. What I will do is send this guy this way.
I do it for my children.
He has children? 60 out of 70, oh my god, the Forsaken. Oh, bollocks. Right, here come the elves.
Nurgle's beloved.
Forget that. Get into March.
March on, children.
Get over here, we need you. Should we send these with them? Level them up? Yeah, we could do. Send them with. They can accompany him. Help out in battle. Yeah, because that ain't going to stop that.
This is absurd.
Right. I'm going to leave this part here. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, leave a like. If you're around here, please drop a sub. Don't forget, I'm trying to get on the YouTube partner program. If you're not subscribed, this is where the sub buttons are, if you're on desktop or laptop. I want to get to this number here, basically as quickly as possible. The sooner I get there, the better. You know, I can start getting some things rolling with the channel. I can earn a little bit of money, which hopefully might cover the cost of my thumbnails. Because in the day, they aren't free. I don't make them myself. I've got a thumbnail artist who makes them. And just like anybody else, he does a job, and I pay him for it. And it'd be nice to get some money back to recoup some of that cost, because I'm not made of money, I ain't got a load of money, and at the moment obviously my YouTube running like a negative, as most people's YouTubers will, so it would help, because it's not going to be a lot of money when you get on the partner program to begin with, but it might help offset some of the cost, so it's not just basically coming out my bank every time I need new thumbnails. And now I'm doing optional content as well at 10 AM every morning. That's even more thumbnails I need to buy, because that's for different types of games. But it's more varied content that I enjoy, that I know you guys will probably enjoy, and that quite a few people have been asking for on Discord for some other games. So it's all there. So again, if you are new, please subscribe, hit the sub button, help me out, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.